So I came to Bali because 18 years ago I visited this school. This school was only one classroom, had only one classroom at that time. And I liked it so much. The energy was amazing. The teacher who was teaching was a lovely lady. And it was the site on Oberoi. It was just gorgeous. It was a house in a garden, and the children were gorgeous. And so I thought, I want to work here. When I was at the university, I was very interested in psychology, so I have a degree in social psychology. But I never really did anything with it. Then I had my child, and as soon as I gave birth, I realized that I really wanted to work with children. But so I looked into all the pedagogies, and Montessori was just obvious. It was a real call for me. I thought it was the best way to approach children, because not only we follow the child, but it's also scientific. It's not like out there, like we do whatever. So yes, it really made sense to me. It's the freedom within a frame. It's not freedom for freedom. It's a guided freedom. It's freedom in an environment that is suited for the child. I was lucky enough that I was quite academic myself, but I could see how around me other children were struggling. As a child myself, I really feel that my creativity was completely shut down from a very young age, and I just had to be academic. So I suppose I really, only my left brain really developed the way it was supposed to develop. My right brain was kind of forgotten, and that's a bit of a shame. And yeah, I suppose that's why Montessori, you can still be academic, but you can be so creative, and you can just follow what you love and what you believe in. Children, they learn through their senses, right? They don't learn through their, through their mind and thoughts. They need to, these senses are windows, right? And you cannot shut down these windows. And Maria Montessori, she really understood that. So children in the Montessori environment, they learn through all their senses. It's not only, I'm giving an example, sandpaper letters. We can say this is so abstract, right? This is a shape that says a sound. But children in Montessori, not only they learn with their vision, because they see the letters, the hearing, they hear the sound of the letter A, but then there's the tactile memory and there's the muscular memory, because when you trace the A, you don't only feel it, your muscles are working on the A. And so everything is working together, so it's imprinted in the memory of the child. We are AMI, right? Association Montessori International. So we really follow the, let's say, the original Montessori way of teaching and being with a child. The thing also with Maria Montessori, her method is really scientific, you know? Yes. It didn't just come out from her mind, and she really studied it. She made researches. She worked. Originally there was Seguin and Ita. They are French guys actually, and they were working with children that had. Some of them they could not see. Others had hearing impairment, and so all these people, they were already working to help these children learn through the other senses, you know, to overcome the sense that was shut down, right? So she took these works from these men, and she used it with children who didn't have these impairments, right? My point is, for everything she did, for every piece of material, she scientifically experimented them. So it's not just an idea that came out from nowhere. It really has a scaffold that is very steady. She wrote a beautiful book that was explaining how if we want peace in the world, we have to start with our children. So yes, it's our children, but it's the future of the planet. It's the future of the humankind. And all of this has to be taught very early in age. For instance, if you teach children that they can help each other without competing, it's already such a huge step towards love around us and support, you know. In other schools, we teach that we cannot help because helping is cheating. Getting help is cheating. So how wrong this is, because then when we are grown-ups, we don't want to help others, because since we were little, we feel... So It's a complete, how do you say, it's almost schizophrenic, right? You are taught something when you're a child, and then when you reach teenage, you are asked to do exactly the opposite. It's the same with creativity, right? So in public schools, they kill your creativity. And then when you reach teenage, all of a sudden they want you to create things. But you can't, because it was cut down when you were a child. As children have what we call sensitive periods. So it's these windows that open, and once the window is open, the child can learn anything very easily according to this sensitive period. If you miss that sensitive period, once it's shut down, it's very difficult for the child or the teenager or the adult to learn these things that he could have learned very easily. They've learned it with such ease, it becomes so natural, and also it answers to their inner needs, right? So of course it just gets imprinted and they never forget. Since I've been teaching, I am amazed what children can do and how adults have no idea of what their children can do. And every day there are little miracles that happen in my classroom. And I'm working with 3-, 4-, and 5-year-old children. And they teach me things. I know this sounds a bit corny, but it's not teaching me things that as an adult I cannot see. It's not that. It's teaching me what humankind is, how we are inside of us, and what we are longing for. And when things are allowed, when things kind of unfold naturally, miracles happen all the time. I gave a try and I worked in a school that wasn't Montessori. And when I came back to Montessori, I all of a sudden felt I was with people around me who were speaking the same language as I was. And it's so beautiful to be able to work in a school where everybody understands the goals. We all have the same goal. It's the child, but not only the child for the child. The child is not just a vase that you have to fill, right? It's not an empty vase. It's a source that you have to help come out from this hidden place where it is.